Welcome, 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 everyone. I hope you are well. Today we are checking and touching base with Samana Vayu. My name is Nina Sachs. I'm one of the directors here at the Academy of Yoga and Ayurveda, where we have our 200 and our 300-hour yoga teacher training. We have a 40-hour training in Ayurveda and our 100-hour bridging course. I'm glad that you're here. Let's delve into this concept of Samana Vayu, what it looks like, what it's all about. Remember, all our details are in the descriptions below. So if you want to connect with us, if you have any questions about any of our upcoming workshops, like we've got a chair workshop coming up soon, you are welcome to get that information from us. We have Facebook pages, Instagram pages, and all of that. So you can connect with us on multiple areas. But today we are speaking about Samana Vayu. We were speaking about pranavayu, which is kind of like the energy and the air moving in and down. We spoke about udanavayu yesterday, which is this energy of moving up and kind of like out as well. And today we're going to be chatting about samanavayu, which is actually a little bit more of this linear movement, kind of like the side to side aspect. Remember, vayus means wind. So if there is no wind within our system, we can't take a breath in. If there's no movement, we can't expel the air. And the same is kind of like moves with like digestion now, where we're going to, like there has to be movement for digestion to take place. Because I know a lot of you, and I know this is where I was at, it's like I always thought digestion had to do with Agni, had to do with Pitta. But as we learn, as we delve into Ayurveda more and more, is that all these elements, all these doshas, all of these have a play in every single aspect of our being, because every single cell incorporates all 5 elements. And so that is key to remember. So let's head back with my favorite teacher, one of my favorite friends, Dr. Vasant Lad. I call him a friend because I feel like I know him because I've like read his book, but I haven't actually met him yet. But anyway, that is it. So Samana Vayu is present in the small intestine and navel. So just remembering that, like the small intestine and the navel, it moves the duodenum, the duodenum, and the ileum. I'm like, got that nailed this time. I was reading it earlier. I was like, duh. All right. The Vayu provides the stimulus for the secretion of digestive juices. So this is key. So this Samana Vayu is what stimulates those digestive juices to be released. Because if we don't have that stimuli happening, digestion isn't happening. So yes, digestion's got a lot to do with Pitta, which we're going to be delving into shortly in the upcoming days. But if there is no movement to release that secretion, nothing is going to happen. All right. So, and what does that result in? That's what we're going to be getting into here. So make sure you stay tuned. So this Vayu provides the stimuli for the secretion of digestive juices. Therefore, Samana Vayu is closely connected with Agni, digestive fire. There are Agnis in the liver, and Samana Vayu provides the energy to secrete those liver enzymes. The bile that is secreted from the liver, we all know that we have the bile, kind of like, and the bile duct that is connected to the liver. So the bile that is secreted from the liver, along with the liver enzymes, accumulated in the gallbladder. All right, so we all know that bile is formed in the liver. It moves along and it sits in that little gallbladder bag. I also had a friend, she actually had to have her gallbladder removed because she was having such issues with that. So you may have heard that sometimes happens when people have gallstones, is that there is an issue with their gallbladder. So the bile is secreted from the liver along with the liver enzymes and accumulated in this gallbladder. And this whole movement of those enzymes is Samana Vayu. It constricts the gallbladder and pushes bile from the gallbladder through the bile duct into the duodenum. All these movements are governed by Samana Vayu. So if you think about how the whole liver, gallbladder aspects work, is that all the movement along there is what is governed by this Vayu, by this Samana Vayu. The Vayu plays an important role in creating hunger. So if you have an issue with hunger, there is probably an issue with your Samana Vayu. Maybe it is too high, maybe it is too low. When one feels hungry, Samana Vayu is awake. So it's really important to know what hunger feels like. What is deep hunger? Then you know that Samana Vayu is awake. And the problem that a lot of us do is that we are continual snackers throughout the day. So we never actually know what it feels like to experience hunger. And this is a key element in the digestive process, because when you are able to feel real deep hunger, that is then a sign for the Vayus, for the body to start moving and doing something. So let's see what he has to say. When one feels hungry, Samana is awake. Samana sends a message to Prana asking for food. When one eats, Samana Vayu stimulates the secretion of hydrochloric acid and opens the pyloric valve for movement of foodstuff into the duodenum. Samana Vayu brings the foodstuff into the cecum, which is called the second stomach. The entire movement around the belly button is Samana Vayu, and this movement is linear. So I kind of like find that, like, I feel like it's like a little bit like this back and forth. So the prana moves downward. So we were chatting about that again. Kind of like the prana is in the head and the mind. The prana moves downward. The udana moves upwards. The Vyana is circular, and we're going to be getting into that as well. And the Samana is linear, like peristalsis. Hence, Samana Vayu governs digestion, absorption, and assimilation. And so you might be saying, okay, cool, Nina, this is all interesting and exciting. So how does this actually impact me and my students? Well, there are certain disorders of Samana Vayu. So if you notice that there is a loss of appetite, and I was definitely there a couple of months ago, where I didn't have an appetite for anything. And I just really didn't feel like eating. And this is a disorder of this Samana Vayu, that there is just not this movement. And when it comes to Vata and air and ether, there are three things that help to regulate it. The three R's: rest, regularity, routine. And when you start working with that, it helps to settle the Vata. Plus, in our training, we go into a lot more, Jennifer goes into a lot more detail about like how to balance out Samana Vayu. So the disorders of Samana Vayu are loss of appetite, indigestion, increased or decreased peristalsis, again, because it is too much or too little of something. It doesn't have that regularity, that consistency. Bloating. So if you notice that you do often get bloated, this is often a cause of it. Lack of absorption and assimilation, and poor digestion. So if you feel that you're just not assimilating, digesting, this is what you want to look at. Therefore, a disorder of Samana Vayu can create malabsorption syndrome. And in Ayurveda, we have a lot of techniques that we look at that can tell if there's malabsorption. We have tongue diagnosis, and we have a look at the tongue to see, okay, is that showing? We have a look at fingernails to see, okay, does that show that there is malabsorption in the system? And if there is, it often is a depiction or an idea. It gives kind of like a little roadmap that there probably is an issue with Samana Vayu. So again, if this is interesting, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Remember that we delve into this a lot more in our training. So if it's of interest to you, let me know. All our information is in the descriptions below. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to leave them in the comments. Have a beautiful day. Let me know what was the one thing that was the most helpful or insightful for you that you learned today. And it will help me and others learn more about Ayurveda as well. Have a gorgeous day. Bye. All right, Instagrammies, good to see you.